evidence that the captain went mad.
Thank you. This is important.
I got a blood sample.
Yes, I see. Well done.
Does the blood sample prove he's sick?
Yes. And with the logbook you found, we have enough evidence.
Unger! Unger, listen to me! You and that fool doctor are traitors! You're dead! Do you hear me? Dead! Even if you survive the German attack, you'll both hang for this! Unger!
I've got to change course for Singapore right away. Oh!
Congratulations, Anna. You're a genuine talent. All you have to do now is turn the ship and you're home free. Are you sure you want to do that, Anna?
Why wouldn't I be sure?
Many lives depend on the decision you make.
How can you stand by and watch people die?
Over the next 2 years, more than 50 million people are going to die from the Spanish flu pandemic. And this ship is infested with it.
Did you infect them?
I understand. You're still upset about the theater. Upset enough to think me capable of such an act.
Will sinking this ship stop the flu?
It will stop it in Singapore this winter during this war. That's already a great accomplishment.
Can we bring back a cure from the future?
The 1918 strain has no vaccine.
We're scientists! We have a lab!
We'd need 1,000 years and 1,000 lives to rid the world of every risk.
How do you know, Father?
Your risk atlas is a toy next to mine. I could see it all. Deep into the past and far into the future. It's a tremendous responsibility and perhaps a terrible, terrible burden. Very special people can live with this.
What was that?
Let's call it another lesson in saving lives using the risk atlas.
Saving lives?
Choosing who lives and who dies is not so simple as you suppose, my child. Sometimes, to save thousands of lives, one must sacrifice a small few.
Is that smoke? You sabotaged this ship?
This is a plague ship. If it reaches port in Singapore, 43,218 people will die who otherwise wouldn't. That's 43,218 lives at the single turn of a wheel. So you see, I have... You have the moral responsibility to stop it.
You're really scaring me now, Father. Can't we just go back home and stop all this nonsense about the risk atlas?
There is no hope for the likes of us, Anna.
Is this really happening?
You're finally starting to understand the implications, child.
Why is the future our responsibility? Thomas told me about Edgar. The power of the risk atlas changed him. I'm worried the same thing is happening to you.
You've been talking to Thomas somehow, but you don't understand. I'm afraid Thomas never recovered from the loss of his daughter. He's no longer in possession of his proper faculties. His own son had to send him away.
That can't be true.
I'm sorry, Anna, but it's time you knew the family secrets. He's quite hopeless. Like this ship.
But what about the people who aren't sick?
You will get sick trying to rescue them.
What about all those donkeys?
Anna, you're stalling now.
The doctor. Can we at least take her?
She's sick too. In 3 days.
There must be another way.
There is no other way for us. That is what I'm trying to teach you. I know this is hard for you, Anna, but I assure you, it's too late for heroics. Save yourself.
Darwin, remind me to get one of those. This is tragic, but there's nothing I can do. I need to find a mirror.
Abandoned ship! Miss, you first.
No, take the seat. Help me move them. Put these on. Take the crates from the brig.
Oh, let him out for God's sakes. The hold's flooded.
Go out the portholes.
Won't fit.
Warships! I told you!
Captain, this way!
I go down with my ship.
Anna. Did someone see Anna? Anna!
Darwin, I need to talk to Thomas right now.
No, don't touch that. It took weeks to... Leave me alone.
Thomas?
Anna, I'm here.
My father sank a ship with everyone on board. I'm afraid the Risk Atlas drove him mad, just like Edgar.
Don't despair, Anna. Perhaps it's not too late to save your father. I think I've worked out a way to travel back to your time. But you will need to make a new mesa for Darwin using Tantalite.
Where do I find Tantalite?
At the Queen's Castle, the King's Bishop 8. Quickly, before the storm passes. We have to use its energy with the crystals.
How can Darwin bring you here? Aren't you trapped in the future? In an asylum?
Tantalite crystals have extraordinary properties. In their pure form, I couldn't control their power. That's why I hid them from Edgar. But Darwin's topaz crystal will limit the danger.
How do I make a mesa?
Remove Darwin's mesa and break it.
Huh?
Make it a better one. Mix Darwin's topaz crystals with Tantalite. Then, put this mixture in a new mesa tube and plug it back in him. This should amplify his power by a factor of several hundred without emitting harmful levels of gamma radiation.
Okay, I'll make a new mesa for Darwin.
And I shall prepare for travel.
Meet back here. Can Darwin take that kind of power?
It is a risk.
How big a risk?
You would need Edgar's atlas to say for certain, but not all risks are to be avoided, Anna. Some risks need to be taken. If you want me there. Your father, this is one risk you'll have to take.
Did you get all that?
Remove Darwin's maser. Mix crystals with Tantalite. Insert new maser.
Let's go down to the workshop. I see a purple velvet box with various crystals inside and an empty mesa. He had such a funny way of walking. Freakishly long legs. That's his old mesa. I need to mix Tantalite crystals with his, then make a new mesa. Maybe it'll work without your crystal, Darwin. That should do it. I need to make him uncertain? Isn't being certain a good thing?
Not always. If every consequence were known in advance, there would be no such thing as risk. But without risk, some crucial part of our humanity is lost. We would all become like my automatons.
Darwin was more than an automaton.
I should not have phrased it like that. You've been through a lot together, haven't you?
What do we do when we find him?
Our only chance is to convince your father to remove his Risk Atlas.
What good will that do?
The Risk Atlas gives you certainty. If his Risk Atlas is as powerful as I suspect, he can see everything we do well in advance. But we want him to be uncertain, to start thinking like a human being again.
Maybe I shouldn't waste my time with him. I did fine without him all these years.
Hear him out, and then decide.
If my father has gone the same way as Edgar, it's too late to help him.
Perhaps, perhaps not. He's done all of this to establish some kind of relationship with you.
It doesn't feel like that.
If there is any emotional connection with his past remaining, it will be with you. Use this to your advantage.
Couldn't we go back in time and save Elsie?
I tried once. Edgar stopped me.
Edgar? Why would he do that?
Every change has consequences. Edgar must have seen something he didn't like. You, perhaps.
Me?
It's very possible that if Elsie doesn't fall off that glacier, you will never exist.
Okay, I think I'm starting to understand what you mean by consequences. Why would Edgar be so angry with you?
Perhaps he was right to be. After we lost Elsie, I fear I rejected him. I became obsessed with my experiments.
Up until now, I never realized how lucky people are to let the past stay in the past.
That sounds like something Elsie would have said.
Is my father using the Risk Atlas to direct his own fate? He used the phrase, compass any future to an absolute certainty.
This goes back to Edgar. He felt that I blamed him for Elsie's death, and he was angry with me, so he used the Risk Atlas selfishly to spite me. Before I could perfect the Risk Atlas, Edgar began to experiment with it in secret. It began with gambling, but he soon realized that if he could anticipate the future, he could change the future too.
Why does using the Risk Atlas seem so risky? Didn't you invent it to eliminate risk?
I designed the Risk Atlas to see risk, not to eliminate it. What I didn't understand was that in the long run, avoiding all risk is in itself a risk. Perhaps the greatest risk of all.
If we survive this night, show me how Darwin works.
It would be my delight to teach you.
It's a shame. I'm going to miss Darwin.
Yes, but it's the risk you took. Now, you have me.
He was a friend. I don't have many.
Yes, it is most unfortunate. He was my friend as well.
Did I make the mesa wrong? Is this my fault?
No, Anna. Darwin was simply not built for this.
Will Darwin be okay?
I'm sorry, Anna. It was a risk we had to take.
How did you come through time?
My topaz crystal. It was tuned to Darwin's mesa. Luckily, they mistook it for jewelry at the asylum.
Are you really here?
Yes. I believe so.
I've seen your painting for years, but I must be a surprise to you.
You certainly have the mind of an Eberling. Although I am a bit startled by your clothes.
Yeah, we discovered that bustles and corsets tend to get in the way of lab work.
No, I'd forgotten about jeans. They went out of style in the 2020s.
Okay, what do we do next?
You wait here. I need a moment to cobble together a second Risk Atlas. I can use the mesa from Darwin. I'll need to concentrate by myself. Under no circumstances should you go anywhere until I'm finished.
Oh, bye.